By clicking the link in the stream's description. The professor wants to hear from you.
On the cusp, not too old to adjust. Old dog, new tricks. Remember, I was just a pup. Something dirty in my cup. Clean soul, good car.
Isn't it lovely? I ain't looking back, I'm focused on what's in front of me. Everybody dates a number, but I'm still here luckily. I know that God got me, so I'm in good company. Isn't it lovely?
Welcome, and thank you for joining me today. I am Professor Bear, and this is a Bear's Thought. And today we are sponsored by Chops, Cards, and Print on Demands. Have you ever had that fantasy of when you used to collect baseball cards, basketball cards, football cards, and you wanted to have your own? Well, why do all the work and try to get into those sports when you can go through Chops Cards and they can make your own personal trading cards? Yes, the quality is so fantastic. It rivals anything out there in today's age. And since you know the professor, I'm going to get you 15% off your entire purchase. Yes, you heard me right. 15% off your entire purchase. Only thing you need to do is put in Bear 15. That is Bear 15, and you will get 15% off your entire purchase. And that is Chops Trading Cards and Print on Design, the number one in getting your cards done. Today, I am blessed and honored to have someone that there's a lot of people in the sport today, especially for me being a true wrestling fan that I have met. But there are a handful of people that I can truly call my friend, because the first time I met this gentleman, he showed me so much love, and his whole family did. And anytime they see me out, they pull me aside. They treat me like one of the family. We have the new East Tennessee heavyweight champion, KC Cazana. KC, what's going on, my friend?
Not much, Mr. Bear. How you doing? You doing all right?
Man, I'm hanging in there. Man, so I hope this is not a start of me being a jinx, because I had just had Evan Golden on my podcast the week he won the championship. And me and him talked about he was going to have a great long reign. And Lord and behold, I look up and I see you defeat him for the title.
And that's just the way the cookie crumbles every once in a while.
Oh
Evan
man.
Golden loves to say he's the gold collector. Last time I checked, he has 2 titles, and one company doesn't even run anymore. So that's just me. I'm just throwing it out there. I got 5 titles all over the place. I don't know. That's called the gold collector. I just might have taken a little bit of gold. You know, he has that. What is it? The Mid Atlantic Championship over in North Kakalaka, North Carolina.
Yep.
I told him, I said, when's it time? When's he gonna make the call to old KC to be like, KC, I need a good match, and I'll be like, yeah, Evan, I'll come over and we'll have a great match just to take his belt again. Like, come on, Evan.
Oh man. So for those who do not know your family background, will you please give them a history lesson and what makes you and your family such traditions in the wrestling industry?
So for me, I'm a 3rd-generation wrestler, arguably 4th-generation wrestler. I'll get to that here in a minute. I'm just saying. But we consider ourselves 3rd-generation talents. I've been wrestling for about 2.5 years, I want to say. And I've been with the NWA for 2.5 years. So literally as soon as I started, I've been with the NWA my whole career. Got lucky enough, right place, right time. I'll tell the story, I guess. We got time. I'll tell the story. NWA 75 was happening. They were going to give old KC dark match whenever the TV tapings came about, and then AJ's old partner, the person that shall not be named, he wanted to do this and that. They ended up dropping the belts, and AJ was in limbo and had no tag partner for at least a day. On that Monday, him and Jack Stane went out, had a fantastic match. The second day, they were questioning what to do with AJ, and out of all the people in the world, old Ricky Morton goes, well, why don't we give his son a try? Why don't we give his little brother a try? You know, KC over there, he can wrestle. He'll be all right. So it took my dad and Dr. Tom convincing Mr. Corgan to give me a shot to tag with AJ in my NWA debut against Daisy and Talos, which they were the NWA United States Tag Champions at the time. So my first ever match in the NWA was a main event, and it was a NWA title match. Like, I know, like, they just threw me in the deep end, see if I can sink or swim, call me a Nepo hire. I'm really good at what I do when it comes to wrestling. So
yes, you are.
Now I'm a NWA contracted talent. The rest was history.
I can remember watching the match and thinking to myself, I'm like, where in the hell did he come from? And I was very impressed with your talent right off. So
I was the best kept secret in the Cazana family. They kept me in the back, kept me under wraps for a little bit. Only took 6 months, and then I was ready to go. But then for the rest of the history, I can go like Dad and like AJ's been wrestling for 5 years. We both currently signed, tag with NWA. Have a win over Heath and Rhino is all I'm saying. But then Dad wrestled in the the late 80s or early late 80s to like today. He still gets in the ring when it matters, when he needs to go in there and whoop somebody's tail, whoop somebody's hind end. And then my great grandfather came over here, wrestled into the 30s, and then started promoting in the 50s. And then Ron Fuller bought John Cazana Promotions. Can't remember what he turned it into. I'm drawing a blank. But then I know somehow down the road, Jim Cornette bought that said company and turned it into Smoky Mountain Wrestling. So my family's ran Knoxville for almost 100 years. And wrestling's been in my family for almost 100 years. So like there's a lot of, when people look at me, they're like, everyone questions my training ability, because I was a trainer at Smoky Mountain Pro. And they question, like, does this kid really know what he's doing? He's only been wrestling for 2 years. Does he really know? And then they listen to me at how I teach and how I talk. Oh, yeah, they'll be fine. This kid knows what he's talking about. I was trained by the greatest trainer of all time, and Dr. Tom Pritchard. So if you question how I train people, then you should question how Doc's is, because I try to mimic what Dr. Tom does. But I can never beat Dr. Tom. He's the greatest trainer of all time.
Oh, I would definitely agree with you. He, I have a hard time thinking and being able to name someone who has the pedigree of training more well-known talent in the world of wrestling today. I will I would actually probably argue with anyone that no one has the lineage of Dr. Tom. No one.
Like, you can just say one name and everybody knows who it is. And it's The Rock. Like, Dr. Thomas trained The Rock, so like that's a movie star. For people that don't know wrestling, know who Dwayne Johnson is, and if you know wrestling, you know The Rock.
Oh yeah.
So,
He he just he is it. He's just it. There's no arguing about that. So one of my questions real quick is, how do you feel when people come to you with that, oh, it's just because of your family, you where you at, oh, you're not really that good, if I had a dad doing this and promoter, I could be where you at? What do you think, and what do you tell people when they come with that?
whenever people come at me with that, like that attitude, it's I'm either going to be like, just step in the ring, I'll show you how good I am. Watch the tape, you see how good I am. Or I tell them the story that you might become from a wrestling family, wrestling history, wrestling lineage, but you can still get said no at different said times. Daddy Neidhart, she got told no 9 times. And her dad's the Anvil. So, and she just kept trying, and then eventually she signed to the WWE, and rest is history. One of the greatest divas, one of the greatest women's wrestlers to walk. So, like,
Yeah.
when people come at me like, you're just a Nepo baby, I was like, yeah, this Nepo baby makes more money than you, wrestles better than you. It's usually the people, I'm not going on a little tangent. It's usually the people that's been nowhere that says, oh, you're only there because you're daddy. You're only there because you're daddy. Well, I'm going to use this. I say, sure, my dad might have got me an opportunity, but it was up to me to stay. It's like they don't just sign anybody to a contract. They don't just sign, they don't just sign anybody to a contract. They don't just give anybody a chance. They can take the chance, but yeah, we'll see what he can do. But it's up to us to stay. Like, people can say the same for Kylie Paige, Kylie Alexa, whatever you know her as. Her sister, NWA World Women's Champion, Kenzie Page, the youngest World Women's Champion ever. They can say, and like Kenzie's the first Triple Crown Women's Champion of the World Title, TV, and the tag. So they can say, oh, Kylie's there just because of her sister. Sure, Kenzie might have got her a chance, but it's up to Kylie to stay, and she proved that she's one of the best women's talents that we have today. Too bad she wrestles for her dad at KFW, but that's besides the point.
It again with and when people come at me and ask me different wrestling things, questions, I always say that I am not a part or affiliated with any one promotion, but I always tell them I feel like my home promotions are your promotion and Crossfire, because there hadn't been one time that I've ever been to your promotion, their promotion, where I didn't get show love, respect, and just it feels like a family atmosphere to me. When it's every time I see you, I don't care. You could be busy doing something. Anytime you see me, you always if you can't stop to come talk, you holler, Professor, and you go and do what you got to do. You always speak. Everybody is just super great. And it throws me back in time to when the territories were really big and popping in the early 80s. And I love that atmosphere where I get caught up, instead of really focusing on the match, I'm sitting there looking around ringside, looking at the fans, enjoying that, and just like, man, this is my family. And that's the kind of atmosphere that I wish every wrestling fan could enjoy and learn that this is pro wrestling.
Well, I'll give you a little insight. If you like territory, like the territories, you might want to just tune into NWA and keep paying attention. We'll show you what the best territory in Tennessee is. So I'm just saying I like KFW over there. I really do. But they like to talk a lot. Them and the wrestlers I work for them, that's, they have a guy over there that just runs his mouth like crazy, but he's one of my good buddies, so he just does it in love. But I told him, I was like, hey man, we'll see, man. Just watch the product. You'll see what happens. You just gotta know. You gotta know your place.
Oh, definitely, definitely. So I'm gonna have to bring up a sore subject because it hurt my heart. Y'all were just, you and your brother was just, I love the run with the U.S. tag titles. I almost passed out because I am so accustomed to seeing y'all with those titles. Mm-hmm. And I look up and y'all got beat. And I get it. Sometimes you have those days, but man, if I had a job, I was going to call in sick because the world didn't seem right to me.
No, I mean, whenever we lost them, it was like Kerry Morton held my tights. It was very obvious that I kicked out right before 3, but he held my tights, and the boss is on commentary, right? That's the only thing. Like, he's sitting over there watching, and I'm walking up the ramp. I was like, I know you don't wear glasses, like Bob Boss, man. I know you saw, like, you held the tights, man. Like, but I mean, it is what it is. Now maybe Knox and Murdoch will give us a shot for them world tag titles. If not, they keep ducking us. I think they keep ducking us on purpose.
Oh, well, and it's ironic that you say that because at the last show I was at, y'all had a 3-way match. Was it 3 or 4-way?
It was 3. It was me and AJ, the troublemakers of Cannon Christopher and Glenn Spector, and then Knox and Murdoch.
Oh my God! And this was the funniest thing. Love the match, hard hitting, but again, this is how much I just really believe we are good friends. In the middle of you out brawling, you saw me and waved. I think it was Knox. You gave him a chop that wrung my chest.
Yeah, I felt a little bad after that, but he'll be all right. He's tough. He's a tough cracker. He'll be all right.
Oh yeah, but it is amazing. And the first thing I thought, I was like, oh man, they're gonna have to stop ducking y'all and give y'all a shot at the titles.
I'm just saying, they give us a shot at the titles. The world titles are coming back home to the great state of Tennessee.
It was such an awesome match and event that I loved every minute of it. But we're going to dive a little bit into your background. We know that you came up with your family, but when did you decide, hey, I want to get into the family business?
I think it was like I always had like a love for wrestling. Obviously, like growing up, I'm around it all the time. So like when I grew up, I was on fire about in elementary school first, about kindergarten through 5th grade. And then, it gets to middle school, wrestling becomes not cool. So then that just faded out. I really didn't talk about my wrestling history, my wrestling family as much until I got to high school and college, to where one of my college coaches actually knew who my dad was and was a fan of my dad. But high school, it was, I started rekindling for it because Dad started doing fundraisers for the football team I was playing on in high school. And he let me do a little spot in his retirement match where I gave Jerry Sampson. He can, I have opinions about him, but I'm going to keep them to myself. Gave Jerry Sampson a little hip toss. And then I was like, I like this feeling. I want to keep it. And then I went through high school. I was known as the kid with the wrestling ring in his front yard. We get to college. One of my teachers knew who my dad and brother were. He was a big wrestling fan. Knew who both my dad and brother were. My head coach actually watched my dad wrestle live somewhere. Can't remember where. Actually remembered watching my dad. And then I was like, it was my junior year of college. And I was just like, yeah, I don't really like this anymore. I don't really like football no more. Just fell out of love with football. I'm a pretty athletic guy. So I was like, I'll pull my strings. So I'll ask my dad if he can't get me in Dr. Tom's January class. So I don't want to say dropped out. I took a gap year in college from December to December. So in December, I announced at a JCP show that I'm going to join Dr. Tom's class and train with Doc. About 4 weeks into that training class, Dylan McQueen comes in. We just moved from Knoxville to La Follette where they are now. I was the last class he was ever in La Follette or ever in Knoxville. And I was the first class in SBCW in La Follette. So just saying, I want to just throw it out. But it was 4 weeks in, and here comes Dylan McQueen bebopping in. And he's like, I've known Dylan. He watched me grow up. And he was like, well, I want to. He told Dr. Tom, he's like, Doc, can I wrestle him? I want to see what he can do. I want to see, I just want to see if the hype's real. Because apparently the hype about me was insane. Or whatever. I don't know. I was just out there wrestling with my fellow trainees. But me and Dylan put on a quick 6-7 minute match. And after that, he looked right at Doc and goes, yeah, he has something. I don't know if it's it. I don't know if it's it in front of it. I don't know. But he was like, yeah, he'll be all right. And so now we're here. I didn't really want to wrestle. Surprise, yeah, I didn't want to wrestle. Shocking. But I was like, I'll just give it a try. I mean, I'll go train. If I don't like it, I'll just go get a regular job. But now this is my job. I'm a full-time professional wrestler. So it's a blessing. I think it's a blessing because I can make my own schedule throughout the day and just have the weekends. I go wherever. But yeah, it's a little bit. Yeah. I think that's all I got. Something will hit me in my brain in 5 minutes and I'll be like, oh yeah.
So what was your official first match? Who was your opponent?
Outside, I always say outside of graduation. So I had a graduation match, and it was against this guy named Flog, and he was in my class. And him and I went out there, had a quick 6-minute match. But my first real match, outside of Dr. Tom, outside of him being there, outside of everything, was against Toby Farley at SPCW. And I remember I was like, man, I'm really pumped because I've known Toby for a minute. Because he watched me grow up. And I was really excited. And we went out there. I was doing stuff a brand new guy should not do. I think I did a superplex in my first ever match.
Wow.
So Toby was like, yeah, we'll do that. And then Dad's had his mouth covered, but Toby's giggling like a schoolgirl when we go down. Dad goes, what the F are y'all doing? And Toby was like, we got to go, buddy. We got to go. Literally laughing on the way down. But it was against Toby Farley. And that was I want to say a real honor. And because I haven't wrestled Toby ever since either. So Toby wrestled me when I was my first match. It's been 2.5 years. I would love to wrestle Toby Farley again. But not no death match. I'm not no death match guy yet, Toby. I'm sorry. But I would love to lock up with Toby now that I'm more seasoned. I want to say have a little bit of water in my cup. It's still there. I want to wrestle Toby again. I'll alliterate that to anybody that'll listen. But it was Toby Farley, SBCW. He won. I mean, but it's okay because it was one of those like Toby came to the back. It was like, yeah, I think you're good, kid. Like you'll be all right. Like you'll take care of yourself. He's like, just remember me when you sign a big deal. I was like, Toby, I got you, buddy.
So with that being said, and I know you do some training also, how is it to be able to train other people in the sport?
It's definitely test your patience a little bit, but it's also showed me like another love I have for wrestling. Like I don't take it for granted anymore because it's really hard and some people just can't do it. But it opened up my ways of learning myself and teaching because I know some people are like I have this one trainee. Her name is Nikki Wild. She's currently wrestles a lot for KFW. She's getting ready to go up to Seth Rollins' school, I think, in Ohio. I want to say Iowa. Iowa. One of those OWAs. But she's getting ready to go up there, and I said, okay, if you do really well, say you're trained by me. If you just like shit the bed, say you're trained by Evan Golden. So it works out. But with her, like she's a visual learner, so I have to like actually show her what I'm doing, what I'm talking about, instead of just like say, hey, do this, like say do and I actually have to do it. And so it showed me that I have more patience than I thought I did. And it opened up my heart for like coaching. And like I really wanted like I never would have thought I would want to coach football ever again because I fell out of love with it. But I reached out to like the middle school coaches here where I live. I'm like, because they play on Thursdays. I'm like, hey, I would love to come coach if you would allow me to. But I don't want to take away that I'm technically a celebrity, as some people say. I went to watch my little cousin play ball over here. He not wrestles. He plays for the crosstown rival. So like I didn't wear the baby blue, which is their color. I didn't wear the blue. I wore an NWA shirt, so I was neutral. But went over there, and I'm like, man, like I was coaching. I was calling what the other team was running on offense, what my hometown team was running on offense. So I was like, maybe I'm a really good defense. And then I was calling the defense. I was like, well, then you do this. Like I never thought about football like that until that day. So I was like, if it's coaching like little league football, like middle school football, where they actually kind of know what they're doing already. I don't want to reteach someone how to play football. But and then like right now training is like it's like we're closed for the time being with Smoky Mountain Pro with because they're getting everything like, revamped, re-innovated in there. And so like I'm still like I'm technically like a free agent when it comes to training wrestlers. And I'm trying to get with when I can go up to Net Pro and train up there with Dan and Rabbit and all of them because I just want to be in a ring because Dr. Tom's not really there often at SBCW. So, but like I would love to drive up to Kingsport and go train with Rabbit because Rabbit's probably one of the most underrated guys I know, and especially in East Tennessee independent wrestling.
Well,
I
was gonna say
he's a really great in-ring talent.
When you say Rabbit, though, people are not gonna know who you're talking about.
Rabbit Rogue. Rabbit Rogue, that's my guy. Rabbit Rogue. I call him Rabbit, so now we know. Now we're on there. But Rabbit Rogue, I think, is one of the underrated people in wrestling. He will show up to your show a day before or whenever you're setting the ring up. He'll set a ring up by himself if he has to. He'll make sure, like, everything is hooked up with the ring and make sure everything's all right. He'll help with lighting, with chairs. In the back, if you need him to do something, he'll do it. He doesn't complain. He doesn't have boo-boo sad face. And then we have him with Magic Jake Dumas at NWA JCP, and he's really taken off and really good with that. Like Rabbit Rogue's character is phenomenal. His in-ring wrestling is good. His promos are fantastic, and he's just all around a great person. So I'll always put Rabbit over, and I love training with Rabbit because he'll show me stuff that, have you ever done this? I'm like, no, why would I ever think of that? No, I didn't try that. But yeah, that's my tangent on that one.
So I know because I have two brothers of myself, and funny enough, I'm the baby.
Hey, me too.
And you see how big I am, and I'm the baby. But so I know you have to have a great story between you and your brother where y'all are having some disagreement and still have to wrestle. Come on, you got to tell me.
No, I'm trying. Like, I think like the way like I've been like when I'm now at the point where me and AJ, I suggest what ideas we can do. I guess I have that status about me where I'm like, I can suggest stuff because I can see where AJ's brain's going. Like it's crazy. Like we've been tagging for 2 years, but we're brothers. So like I can pick up on stuff that other people can't. And so like I'm over here finishing his sentences as he's starting them. It's just very weird, very scary. But I was like always suggest something because he thinks of everything so logical. While I'm just out here, just tell me what to do and I'll do it. So he's like over here micromanaging everything. And I'm just like, dude, just calm down. Like, what are we doing? And then he'll just snap and get mad. And I'm just like, all right, brother, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to sit there. But we really haven't had more. If we ever fight, it's just like we'll argue with each other, but then we'll be fine in 5 minutes because one, we're guys. That's just what guys do. And we're brothers. So we're forced to tag with each other. But I do have like the funny story. Whenever I was a kid, I've been working with my brother since I was 4 or 5 years old. I don't know what was happening. This is what AJ tells the story, and I'm going to steal his thunder, so he can't tell it to you. It was like I was like 5 or 6. I was in like the little tyrant age, and he had a buddy over. They were playing Xbox downstairs, and I walked in, and I think I punched one of his friend in the nuts or something, and I like ran out, trip over the threshold, boom, waterworks immediately. My dad yells, turns around, and goes, "What the hell's going on back there?" I, without a hesitation, AJ hit me. And my brother turned and looked at his friend and was like, "Is this kid serious right now?" And so dad fee-fi-fo bums back there all pissed off. "AJ, what the hell did you do?" He goes, "Dad, I didn't touch him." And his friend was like, "Yeah, Mr. Cazana, he didn't do it. KC just fell." So I've been working at AJ since I was about, 5 years old, is all I'm saying.
So that is, I love that story because it sounds similar to my background with my brother. So, matter of fact, a quick story, and my father passed away going on 6 years now. And 2 years before he passed, me, my two brothers, and my sister, we all decided we were going down. He lived in Alabama. We were going to go down to the family reunion. And this was first time we all had been down together in one car in God knows how long. Well, we sitting around with my dad and everything, and we got on talking about how much I was spoiled. And it's like, well, he gets away with everything. And he said, well, he's supposed to. He's the baby. And y'all ain't going to do nothing anyway. You're just going to protect him. And then my oldest brother, like, no, if I get him, I get him. Well, again, my father passed, and we had went down to pick up his vehicles. Came back, my brother had one, I had one. So I went to his job we was going to switch vehicles. Well, I bagged up, moving out the parking lot, and I accidentally hit somebody. The guy goes bazonkers, just going off cussing me and stuff. And I looked at him. I said, man, you might want to calm down. you might want to calm down. This is not what you want today. My brother, he happened to still be outside, and he's like, "What's wrong?" I was like, "Man, you better get him because I'm about to choke the shit out of him." So my brother, he's the oldest. He was calm, like, "Hey, he didn't mean it." Blah blah blah. The guy started cussing him and threatening him. Before I could turn, my brother went to swing at him. I luckily he missed him, and I grabbed him. So me and my brother are dancing in the parking lot. I'm trying to stop him. Long story short, I ended up having to calm my brother down, talk to the guy, explain why he picked the wrong day to be cussing us, and calm the situation down. About to leave with my brother, and the guy decides to cuss my brother again. I had to grab him again, and I was like, "Man, if you don't get out of here," and later I found out he worked at the place. I was like, "If you don't get out of here, I'm gonna let him go and kill you." So the moral of the story, or that long drawn out story, is yes, I know what you mean when it comes to brotherly instinct, thoughts, and everything, because I do that with my brothers also. But to get back to wrestling, with you being the East Tennessee heavyweight champion, what is your goal with holding that title? Where do you see yourself going as the East Tennessee champion?
Well, I mean, I think my opinion apparently don't mean nothing anymore, according to the Smoky Mountain Pro era. I'm just gonna pull out, crash out KC, and my opinion, the Smoky Mountain Pro Championship is underneath the East Tennessee Heavyweight Championship, and the East Tennessee Heavyweight Championship is the most sought after title on the independents, on the indie scene, because that title was held by WWE Hall of Famer Jimmy Golden, but more importantly held by Dr. Tom Pritchard as the first ever champion. And I see myself being a better champion than the past ones in the Max Sables and the Evan Goldens, and but I see myself with I'm gonna have a target on my back anyways. Like I already wrestled for the NWA. So they're like, "Oh, the NWA guy has a title. Go figure." And I was like, "Well, if you got a problem with it, buddy, step up." Like, no one's going to step up to me. The former SOM champion, SMP champion, Javen Myra, is like, "Well, maybe I'll come after that title next." I said, "Last time I checked, you're too scared to step in the ring with me, fella. So let's just, let's just pass on that one, because I'd hate for you to limp out of that. That's what I'm saying. It's not a promise, it's a guarantee. But it's people always like, "Oh, that title, you would have that title, blah, 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 blah." Like, we got problems, step up. Like, no what? Nobody wants to step up to KC. And it's always, they talk crap about me behind my back. But when they see me in person, they're like, "Oh my God, I missed you so much. I love you so much." Other than, like, I have people telling me, "Hey, this person said this about you. This person said this about you. And this person's trying to start some petty rumors, petty drama about you." So, like, and I literally called the person. I was like, "Hey, we got heat." "No, man, what? I hate drama. I'm about 50 years old. I don't like that." And then I comes to find out they're trying to start more stuff. And it's just like, man, I know I got a target on my back, but you ain't gotta go down there, man. Like, come talk to me. Like, let's come talk. But I'm just like, I have the title, and if you want it, come get it. Ain't nobody gonna get it from me. I can make that a promise.
All right, then I'm liking that, but I expect it no different. So we talked about going for wanting to get your hands on the tag team titles of the NWA. What else are your goals for the wrestling business?
I mean, I think I think the goals is like any company I am blessed to step into. I want to be a champion in that company. Obviously, like, that's the way to go. Like, I want to be the guy. I want to be the top guy. But, like, tag wrestling is fun. I would love to hold singles gold like AJ would love to hold singles gold. Like, we both have those admirations, I think is the word. And we would both love to be the world champion, if it's the singles or the tag. But I'm just saying I'm cutting a little bit of weight. I'm down to about 240, 235. So I'm just saying, Alex Taylor with that World Junior Heavyweight title, I might make weight for it. I just wrestled Plunkett for the Mid-America title. I ain't going to spoil it, but you can watch NWA JCP to find out if I'm the Mid-America champion or not. And I just want to collect all the titles that I can, like they're Infinity Stones. The more I have, the more powerful I am.
I love that reference.
But I think it would hold a title no matter if it's a mid-card, tag title, upper card, just to hold a belt or hold a championship in a big company. I mean, I already did in NWA. And I want to hold more titles in NWA. I'm very happy with the NWA. I said if I ever got the opportunity to go to other companies, it would be to win a championship, obviously. But NWA is keeping me happy, and I really love working for them. And they got a history about them that nobody else does. So,
with that being said, how does it make you feel to work for the company your father worked for, made a name for himself? Your brother has made his name for himself. To add to your family history, how does that make you feel?
I think it was more full circle for my dad than it was anything, because my great-grandfather, John Cazana, he was a territory back in the day for NWA wrestling. Like, my great-grandfather was around when NWA was just starting. It was just a thing. And he was a territory for him, and now my dad is a territory for him. And that's a pretty big deal when it comes to him and when it comes to wrestling. In order to, getting asked to be a territory by Billy Corgan himself is a big deal. And I don't care what them losers up at Exodus Pro in Ohio say. We were the first territory. We were the first ones already announced, and EC3 just picked a date faster than we did to get Billy up there. So, but I take it as like it means everything, because I held a title that a lot of legends have held, like the Midnight Express, the Steiners, and just being able to wrestle in the NWA is a lot. Like, I've always heard about the NWA. I was like, I don't know if they're still around. Then AJ's like, yeah, I'm getting wrestled for the NWA. I'm like, that's really effing cool. Like, I would love to wrestle for them one day. And here we are. Like, history tells itself, speaks for itself. So, but I think it's an honor and a really great privilege.
Yeah, as you can tell, I have the tag titles over my shoulder.
But hang on, I can't even see.
That is the NWA tag team titles, the blue versions, the ones that were, I think actually that was the titles that was first given to the Rock and Roll Express, if I remember correctly. And that was the one, and that was the titles that Arn and Tully took off of them. I remember that so clear. My age, I remember those events so well. Have them on my DVD player, well, on VHS, which most of the young kids will have no freaking idea what that is.
I'm lucky enough to know what a VHS was.
I still have tapes. I have so many different things. I'm so much of a wrestling junkie, where before there was internet, it was the magazines. I still have tons of magazines of wrestling. That's how I used to follow. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I got the NWA. You can't see it, but I got the World Television title. I got the
what color is it? Red strap or black?
Oh, of course, the red strap. To me, there's no other than the red strap. I got it's not the official NWA version. It's the WWE's version of it, but it's the big gold belt, and I love it to death. I was born, and like I tell anybody, if you are from the South, wrestling is different than anywhere else. It's a part of our blood, or it's like, it's hard to explain because it's real to us. We may know everything that goes on behind the scenes and everything, but you can't tell us it's not real. And that's what I love about seeing today with the territories making a return. I love the fire, the passion, not just from the wrestlers, from the commentators, from the valets, from everybody. And it brings such a different joy to wrestling to me that I think it is slowly going to pass the bigger companies. And I love it. I love that feeling. With that being said, what is your major goal in the next year? What are you looking to accomplish?
Be the NWA World Tag Team Champions. Be either that or be a NWA Singles Champion. I mean, I can be the youngest. Any title I hold at this point, I could be the youngest ever, except for the world title, because I think Wildfire Tommy Rich was 22 years old when he won it. I'm 23. So right now, if I win the TV title, Carson Bartholomew Drake is the youngest at 25, 26. I'm only 23. I got 2 years. I'd probably be the youngest. I haven't Googled it, but probably the youngest World Junior Heavyweight Champion. I'm already the youngest United States Tag Team Champion. So now, like, if I get hands on the World Tag titles, I'd be the youngest ever World Tag Team Champion. So I think being a champion in NWA again is probably my year goal.
To make history and be a history maker is a great feeling. I love it. Love it. Well, sir, I always have a great time when I see you. I love you and your family. Again, y'all so much like family to me. I appreciate you taking the time out and giving this great interview. And what I would love for you to do before we leave is give out your social, plug your dad's promotion, plug anyone that you feel fit to plug. The floor is yours, my friend.
I think my socials go like Instagram, my Instagram, Twitter is either Kurt Cazana, like KC Cazana on Twitter, or it's Cazana KC on Twitter. Excuse me, Cazana KC on Twitter. Then KC_Cazana on Instagram, Kurt Cazana on Facebook. I can't change that one. That one's stuck. But and then obviously I'll work all over the place, East Tennessee at mainly just NWA, JCP. And if SBCW ever wants a real wrestler, they have me. Smoky Mountain Pro, whenever they get a chance to open back up. Net Pro Studios is one place I want to see myself at quite a decent amount. I told Dan, I was like, hey, when you crown a Net Pro Student Showcase champion, a Net Pro champion, I'm just saying, I like titles. I like belts. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, I think, yeah, that's about it. I don't have anything else. I don't really talk. I don't really care too much about other people. So I shout out Rabbit Rogue. That's the only one I really care about shouting out.
Oh, man. Again, Casey, man, you are one of my favorite people to always talk to. Definitely will be running into you live, because I definitely going to be back on the road again soon. Again, thank you for taking the time. Anytime, you are more than welcome. Anytime you want to come talk, let people know what's what, or even, just be honest with them and tell them like you did this interview, they don't stand a chance against you.
Yeah, you got a little lucky. I didn't see no comments that much, so I didn't get to go off on. I didn't go off on nobody. So you got like PG-13 KC. So that's good.
Oh man, I appreciate you, and I'm so glad that you took the time. And you have an open invitation, my friend.
Thank you.
Well, guys, girls, this has been another great episode of A Bear's Thought. And please remember, support your local wrestling. It is nothing to give support, because you never know who you will see today in 5 years could be headlining, could be a world champion, could be doing amazing things. So make sure you give that support. It's better. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. It's cheaper. You have better results. You get to talk to the wrestlers. You get to participate. I'm telling you, and generally it's family friendly. You can't beat it. For one ticket price of WWE, man, you can bring your whole family, get snacks, and get autographs. You cannot beat that. So support your local wrestling. I am Professor Bear, and this has been A Bear's Thought.